all sacred geometry. It lies the foundation for all subatomic particle physics. It's all right there.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
The guys, my good friend, well, he's not a good friend, but a guy that I enjoy, Nassim Harriman, who has done tremendous work in a unified field theory and sacred geometry. What he has determined from the backside, if you will, coming back at it, is that he has found that, yes, in fact, phi is revealed in Scripture, pi is revealed in Scripture, and sacred geometry is revealed in Scripture, such that all of the, for instance, like I'll give you one last thing. There's a very interesting anomaly in Scripture that Moses was told when they were in the wilderness. He was told, divinely, to put the image of a seraph on a banner. Okay, now we know what a seraphim is because Isaiah tells us it's this six-winged creature, right? 2 wings above, 2 wings to the side, 2 wings below.
Yeah.
And John the Revelator reiterates it. He sees the same thing, except that these 6-winged creatures also have eyes like a peacock on each one of those wings.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And so we have these 2 witnesses telling us what these seraphs look like. A seraphim, of course, is a plural. Seraph is the singular. So Moses is told, put an image of a seraph on a banner. And instead, he puts a serpent on a pole.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And so that serpent would be called the Nehushtan.
Okay.
And it eventually was destroyed because it became a tool of idolatry.
Wow. Interesting.
So, if he was told to put the image of a seraph on a banner, what did that look like?
Yeah.
Just a question.
Okay.
And if we get to the answer, you will see all sacred geometry, including all of the Platonic solids, can be expressed in what's called Metatron's cube.
Oh,
Metatron's cube.
Yeah. And by the way, I think my audience would love to understand the idea that the Metatron is an actual angel. It sounds like something right out of a future science or some kind of a scientific sci-fi television show. But Metatron is one of the angels.
Well, the movie Tron 1 and 2 is based upon Metatron, a story which actually appears in 3 Enoch.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, 3 Enoch is not included in the Sefer because 3 Enoch is really crazy. But it does talk about Metatron and who Metatron is. And that story is kind of encapsulated in the movie Tron.
Yeah, I see. Well, that makes sense. I love that movie. I love both of them. And, the idea to me, when you've got, the major angels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, or whatever, and then you've got this guy named Metatron. Where the heck did that come from? Is this a biblical
Metatron
name?
Metatron is Enoch translated.
Oh,
After Enoch was translated, according to 3rd Enoch, he became Metatron.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. I think I did hear that, but I forgot about that. It's fascinating. And all of a sudden, he gets this futuristic name for some reason that doesn't quite fit in with the times. That's my feeling.
It doesn't really fit in with anything when you think about it, Michael. It doesn't fit in with anything.
No.
Anywhere, right? You have this very unique thing called Metatron. And so when they developed this idea, if you take the image of the seraph, and if with that image, just the image, not an exact replica, but the image of the seraph, and put it on a banner, from that image, you can derive the entirety of Metatron's cube, and all of the Platonic solids appear in that cube.
Oh, man. No wonder Newton and all these guys were studying ancient scriptures before or while they're coming up with all of these scientific mathematical formulas. My gosh. And you said Einstein as well was, of course, he was Jewish, but he was studying the Torah and those kinds of scriptures to find out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what you see is the beauty of this, Michael, is that there is, like I say, there is so much there. For instance, the guys that are saying stuff like charms and quarks and these kinds of things and subatomic particle physics.
Yeah.
When you get down to the smallest subatomic particle physics, guess what they're going to find? 22 of them. And those 22 correspond to the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Now, do they know this yet, or is this something that you're predicting?
Well, let me give you an example, okay, how 22 works.
Yeah.
Let's take the octave on a piano. Now, we know that there are certain rules that apply to that octave, because when you get to the next octave up, it's the same rules, only it's an octave higher, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay, so you have on the scale, in a single octave, you have what's called perfect intervals, which is the fourth, the fifth, and the eighth. Those are perfect intervals. So that's 3. Now, if we take a diatonic scale, you have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. That's 7, right? So we have 3 perfect intervals, then we have 7 diatonic scale tones, and then we have 12 chromatic tones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, C through B. Now, if we take those 12 chromatic tones and we add them to the 7 diatonic tones, that's 19. If we add them to the 3 perfect intervals, that's 22.
Oh, man. Oh, man, you're talking Close Encounters of the Third Kind theme running through my brain right now. Wow.
I'm singing it myself.
Yeah.
And the occasional Indiana Jones theme,
Yeah, that's right. Oh, man, and, I'm an old musician myself. I can really relate to what you're saying there and stuff. And of course, I even go back to the I guess the 30s, I believe, where they actually changed the musical scale to be more dissonant and all that kind of stuff. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with trying to throw people off the track of finding out this whole idea of 22.
It absolutely does, because remember that our friend Pythagoras, the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared?
Yeah.
Pythagoras is the one who developed all of the equations for the well-tempered clavier. So by his determination, we discovered what? How to tune a piano.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
All right. Now, he said, look, the note C has the frequency 1. An octave above it, 2. Octave above that, 4. 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. Do those numbers sound familiar?
No, but tell me what they mean.
Well, those are the numbers that you find when RAM began to increase. You started out with 8 megabytes, then 16 megabytes, then 32 megabytes, then 64 megabytes. Remember the old 64 megabyte modem, dial-up modem?
Oh, my gosh, Stephen, you're right. That is exactly what we did back in those days. Oh, fascinating stuff.
Now, how about the note F sharp? These are some of the frequencies you get in F sharp. 45, 90, 180, 360, 720. All of these acute angles, every angle is expressed in the note F sharp.
Oh.
So what you see when you're talking about the divine 432, the divine 432 is the actual frequency of A, not 440. 440 was adjusted by David Rockefeller coming into World War II. So if you go back and listen to the original recordings of George Gershwin playing the Rhapsody in Blue, there's recordings of him playing with it being recorded at 432 hertz.
Yeah.
Much more harmonic for the body. It creates healthiness in a person.
Yes.
440 creates dissonance.
Yes, and I understand it has something to do with the old dissonance, the old frequency had something to do with the Earth itself and what it vibrates at or something?
Yeah, that's correct. There's frequencies to everything. The frequencies of the Earth. There's frequencies in everything.
Yeah.
Everything vibrates at a specific frequency, and the stuff that's harmonic is stuff that brings life and healing. The stuff that is dissonant brings death and destruction.
Yes. I've recently gotten into actually falling to sleep with the solfeggio tones, where they go through probably 9 of them before an hour's over with. Boy, I tell you what, that really has relaxed me and allowed me to get deeper in sleep. And I know this because I have sleep apnea, and I have a CPAP machine that tells me how well I sleep.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And I mean, these things become very, very important. When you're talking about these kind of frequencies and the healing frequencies of 432, and a lot of musicians are changing their tuning now to go back to 432 because it creates such harmony for the listener. It's comforting, very relaxing, right?
Yeah.
And so you see, again, these are the kinds of things that are found in the physics of Scripture. Nothing is left out, Michael. So I just wanted to say, I have a lot of stuff on this on my blog at Sephir.net. People can come to that and see the blog. They can contact me directly at Stephen@Sephir.net. And, and I usually answer as many emails as I possibly can. And so I'm always willing to discuss these kinds of things. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for allowing my listening audience some access to contact you. That would be fantastic for a lot of folks.
No problem. And again, I think, and I have a book out too. It's called Sitri Torah, that you can get it on the website, that discusses the physics of music. I have some of the charts and stuff in there that I talk about in this, the rule of the octave and so forth.
Oh,
and I also have some discussion on sacred geometry in that book.
Oh, really?
Plus, now, Michael,
go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Well, if you really want to get, crazy, that book also contains 3 Enoch.
All right. There you go. I think you've single-handedly made 3 Enoch the book to send my audience to, because being an old Puget Sound Christian College vice president myself, for a short period of time, I'm not a biblical scholar, but I tell you what, when you brought up stuff like that, and in the circles that I ran in, people's eyes would roll, the apocrypha would come right out of the woodwork. They would go crazy. So
that's right, Michael.
I'm so glad that you're able to bring this back. Oh my goodness, you've got. Well,
you and I are able to have these. You and I are able to have these discussions. I can't have them anywhere else.
Well, thank you so much. And by the way, as my show progresses here, at one point we will definitely, if we can, ask you to come back. And if there's anything, by the way, that really gets you excited as we go through this, I would love to have you just contact me by email, text, or whatever, and we'll get you on any Saturday night that you want to give us an update of what's going on here. So,
fantastic, Michael. I greatly appreciate that. And if we don't do it here, we'll do it at the Macaroni Grill, eh?
Oh, hey, there you go. Yeah, definitely. Italian food. I love it. Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much, Dr. Stephen Pidgeon, JD, PhD, and scriptural scholar. I'm just so pleased as punch that we were able to discuss this stuff tonight. And you have yourself a wonderful rest of the weekend. And I'm sure you're getting ready for the holidays, and you're going to be busier than heck with all your, speaking engagements. So thank you again.
You bet, Michael. My pleasure to be here.
All right. Well, have a wonderful night. Thanks again.
You too, Michael. Take care.
Good night.
Please check out the Night Dreams Talk Radio website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Also, if you want to keep our show free of advertising, just hit the donate button.